one thing that sets the Pro 3 apart from other monosynths and paraphonic synths is the sequencer. This section here is absolutely fantastic. It's very versatile, very different, and very, very capable. So I'm going to run through, not so much a tutorial, but just showing you the kind of thing it can do. So to start off with, I'm going to clear a basic program. And there's already, for some reason, there's already a sequence in there, which I can play. I'm not sure I want to use that. But just to give you an idea, you hit record and you basically step sequence. So that's putting 16 notes in. And if you want 8 notes, you can hit the 8th note and hit reset. So it's now, turn that down, give it a bit of envelope, and maybe just maybe not have it so dry. Let's just have a bit of that, and then that's better. It's a bit more interesting. Right. So I've recorded a very simple pattern in. If I want to change the length, as I said, I hit the step and hit reset. That's now 16 notes. If I want to remove some notes, I can just tap the buttons. And in normal playback mode, you transpose by just hitting a key. So if I want to bring a bit of a sub-oscillator in. Okay, so you've got a nice little sequence running there. You can also run it gated, so it only runs when you get your finger on the key. So you take your finger off, it stops. Which is very nice. You can also have trigger. So each hit of the key advances the sequencer. So that might be useful for some. Not sure I've ever used that. And then you have the option of playing forward, reverse. It's now going that way. Forward, forward and reverse, or random. And random also does hit the steps that you're not using. Put it back to forward. Now, the other thing you can do is put in ties. So if I've got, as we have on this one, if I go to select the note, you can see the notes on the display. So where I've got 2 C's there, I can just tie them and have a longer note. And I'll maybe tie these two. Which is great. And if you want to replace a note, you just hold that down. So that's C4, but if I want to make that a C5, and it, there you go. And maybe that, make that one a G. Now this is where it gets really clever, is you've got a track for note, a track for duration, so you can edit the durations of each note. So on track, on this one here, I can then reduce the duration or increase the duration. I've got a ratchet, so on that, say on this G, if I want to have it repeat, I can hit that one and then increase the value. 5 is probably a bit excessive, maybe 3. Now it gets really interesting. On the other 16 tracks, you can assign these to pretty much anything on the synthesizer. So track 4 assigned to cutoff as default. So for that little ratchet on, I think it's on 9. Was it on 8? I can increase the so super flexible, and then maybe on track 5 I could put resonance, so literally hold it down, put resonance, and now on track 9 I'm going to boost the resonance up. Sorry, resonance. It's going back to cutoff. That's interesting. Let's go back to track 5 resonance. And then, yeah, go to here. And then increase the value. There you go. Oops, turn that on. So, there you go. Now play. So, huge amount of flexibility, and if you want to change your wave shape as you go through it, there's no reason not to then select channel 6, go to oscillator 1 shape, and then maybe go to step 1. So step 8. And so on. And even more fun, you can also affect the effects. So on this one I could actually potentially change the time. So let's go and change, which is parameter 1. So that was pretty cool. So if we now go to parameter 1 on here, go to that, change that to parameter 1. Now on step 14, and that's momentarily changing the speed of the delay. So totally nuts what you can do with this. But that's just one sequence. We can also have 3 other sequences. There's A, B, C, and D, and you can switch between them. So to show you this, I set up a little program earlier. So there you go. So you might recognize this one. So it's cheesy. So I'm gonna. There you go. So I'm turning the first ones into ties. Let's put a bit of delay on it. That's quite nice. Now, and on B, I have the next sequence. next one. Back to the beginning. So super powerful, actually really easy to use. You can also, if I go to the settings, if you hit the arpeggiator and you've got sequencer parameters, there are also parameters in sequencer mode. So this is single, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C and D. You can also chain them all together to have 16. You can have any number of steps, so you can have 64 step sequence and have it all just sequence in order. So I actually don't know what's in D. Okay, so there you go, that was what was in D. But if I didn't want that to run to that one, I'd go down to 4. Whoa, sorry. Let's go back to that parameter. That one, and then 48. There you go. So that'll give me A, B, C, and D. So there you go.